What is up, peeps? Welcome to episode 18. We're going to be doing an NLCS preview, obviously, and then looking back on the NLDS as far as the Braves and the Phils, as well as the Diamondbacks and Dodgers. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Acuna, Strider, Arcia, and then give our predictions for the NLCS and ALCS. So before we start, got to give ourselves our own little plug. So I am going to say phillysportshirts.com, PHILLY sportshirts.com. I think everyone's kind of wearing them. Hooded sweatshirts, freaking awesome for right now. All the different colors and designs. T-shirts still available. There's long sleeves as well, but they're super comfortable. Can be found on PHILLY sportshirts.com. So I want to kick off the one part of it and just kind of talk briefly, then I'll give it to the other guys. I was looking up and down the Diamondbacks lineup, and I'm not really worried, to be honest with you. Then I was like, oh, maybe it's the pitching. Well, yeah, Gallen and Kelly are awesome. They have some dude that, like, he spells his name one way and you got to say it another way, which is like, that pisses me off already. I'm like, fault, and it's fought. I'm like, you know what, man, just spell it like fought then. The mascot's a bobcat, yet they're the Diamondbacks. I mean, I'm a Union fan. We got a freaking snake with legs. Just get a snake with legs. What the hell's a bobcat have to do with Diamondbacks? I think a bobcat's a predator of a Diamondback, which makes no sense to me. Their bullpen was bottom of the league in effectiveness. They were like a 4.48. Seawald's good. I will say that. Like, Seawald's good in Seattle. He's good in Arizona. So I'll kick it over to Mike since he's next to me here. Then, you can go around the horn. But that's just kind of my initial thoughts when I was looking into the Diamondbacks.
Absolutely. So I agree with you, Carroll, Moreno, and Walker. I was looking at those guys. They're hot right now. But, they do also, having won early, have their ace teed up in game one. You talked about Gallen already. I think he had a couple of chinks in his armor, though. He gave up 2 in the first inning against Milwaukee, got it under control after that, and they ended up winning that game. But he also gave up 2 against the Dodgers, even though they swept that series. So there's a little bit of, the ability to get him in some trouble. I want to address a little bit of home field advantage. I was lucky enough to be with a couple of you guys at the bank the other night. When we hit 6 home runs. That place is a weapon. They have 9 guys on the field. They have, the rest of the guys in the bullpen and the dugout, and they've got 46 or 47,000 people that give them a big advantage. And if you can get to, this guy Gallen in the first or second inning, rattle him like we did in the NLDS, that's a huge weapon for me. I just want to throw out this Zach Wheeler thing because I stumbled upon it. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there's 121 pitchers all time that have started 8 or more postseason games. Okay. Listen to this. Wheeler ranks 19th among all those pitchers in ERA with a 2.59. Just let that sink in for a second. All time, forever. But this new whip, right, for over the last few years, he's number 1 out of all of those pitchers at a 0.72, and it's not really that close because Kirsty Matherson is 0.85 and Bob Gibson's a 0.89. Those are 2 and 3.
That's
sick.
I would never believe that.
When I saw that
Hall
stat,
of Famers. Hall of Famers,
right?
He's got number 1.
Yeah, he's number 1 in whip and number 19 all time in ERA. So I think, we need to understand that the Diamondbacks are on a little bit of a roll, kind of like the Phillies are. They kind of have that chip on their shoulder. They were the not supposed to get in, maybe underdogs like, the Phillies were last year. And so I think we take them seriously, but I'm not scared either. and we'll get the predictions in a while. But those are my thoughts. Dugan?
Yeah, I'm right with you guys. I mean, obviously, they're undefeated in the playoffs, 5-0, swept the Brewers and have swept the Dodgers. But I think both those teams had problems of their own. The Brewers and the Dodgers were coming in a little banged up. The Dodgers pitching was real banged up. But like you said, Mike, they got a couple guys in that Dodger series that were really swinging the bat well. Corbin Carroll hit 300 in that series. Gurriel hit 308. Marte hit 357. Tommy Pham hit over 400. So they had some guys that are swinging the bats really well. But like you said, Chris, their pitching's really not scary after you get through their top two guys. And they're really right-handed heavy in the rotation and even out of the bullpen. When I look at like their top six guys coming out of the bullpen, only two of them are left-handers.
That's what I thought too. I was like, only two. I was like, wow. I mean, does Cave make the team? We didn't really put that in the agenda. Like, is Cave on it then, Chris?
It's I think I don't think they're going to change the roster. I think the roster is going to stay the way it is. Although I did see some people speculating that Hoskins may be ready to come back, but I don't even see a role for him at this point. He's not going to play first base, obviously, and other than a bat off the bench. But they really haven't used any pinch hitters either in any of these games. It's been either like when Marsh wasn't playing, maybe he'd come in as a pinch hitter later in the game. So
Reese's really wife can come now.
She can buy beers.
Yeah. She can buy beers. Exactly.
Buy beers. Yeah. But yeah, I don't see. I was kind of looking at the same stats that you were as far as the season stats with the Diamondbacks. They were like 14th in batting average with like a 250 batting average, 22nd in home runs with only 166 home runs, 17th in OPS. ERA, they were 20th overall, the team ERA. Their starters were 21st, and their bullpen was 18th. So they're really not much to be scared of, other than that they're hot. And hot teams in playoffs can be scary. So I think like Mike said, the home field advantage for the Phillies the first two games, the crowd really has to be loud and in their ear and make them worry about the crowd and the noise and the pressure, and really have everything kind of close in on them, because they've been pretty much playing ahead in all these series and large leads in a lot of these games and just kind of cruising. So if they get in tight situations, I think the fans could really make a big difference in this series. And I like the depth of our pitching a lot better than what they can throw at you. So
the other thing is, Chris, like they're playing in temperate climates, right? They're playing indoors in Arizona. LA's, 80 degrees. They're playing indoors at Milwaukee. They're going to come here on Monday night. It's going to be 45, 50 degrees.
Yeah.
That's a different story.
Totally different story. Yeah. Yeah. You don't know how it's going to affect their pitching. You don't know how, their bats are going to, react. I mean, yeah, it's going to be chilly and get colder as the game goes on. So, maybe get a nice little rainy night like this. I think that would give us an advantage too. A little damp and cold.
Phillies are mutters.
Snakes hide under rocks when it's cold, I heard.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I think the numbers all point to the Phillies being a heavy favorite in this series. And but again, you don't want to overlook a team that's coming in as hot as they are.
The Phils could lose to the Pirates right now in 7 games too.
Yeah, anything can happen. Anything can happen. You're only as good as your next day starter, right? So so that that's the key for the Phillies. And I mean, obviously Wheeler getting game one. So beating the Braves in 4 and having Wheeler available for game one is huge.
Huge.
You really get to set up your lineup, your pitching rotation the way you want to in this series. So that's where I'm at. What do you got, John?
Yeah, I'm with you, Dugan. I agree with that. We get to set up our rotation a little easier now, and we can start from square one. Go Wheeler, Nolan, game 1 and 2. I think we win. If we win both games here, that kind of deflates their deflates their tires a little bit, takes the wind out of their sails going back home. I know they got 3 at home, but they've been on a roll. They haven't lost a game yet. And like Dugan said, they've had big leads. They haven't been in any tight spots, really. Like anything they've had to work out of, they've had it easy so far. So let's tighten up the screws on them. Maybe, I'm thinking we win the first 2 here, but like I said, they got 3 out there. But maybe steal one out there, bring it back home to win it. But I mean, we'll get the predictions later. But like Mike said, but I'm not really scared of them. They're really relying on Kelly and Gallon and Kelly to really be their 1 and 2 horses, kind of like Fat or Fart or Fister, whatever the hell his name is. Like, I'm not scared of him. And their lineup, like, unless they jump on you early, it's a younger lineup for the most part. They don't have the experience. I mean, I know they're playing hot baseball, but let them face a team that has some pitching depth. Like, the Dodgers didn't really have any depth. They're hurting for pitching, and Kershaw got blown out of the water. So, and their lineup didn't do jack shit. So, I mean, I can't say they didn't play a real team, but they played a real lineup. They just didn't produce in the Dodgers. But yeah, I'm not really scared. But like, anything can happen, like Chris said.
Yep. All right, we'll go to some comments here. About 10 minutes in. So Howard's give us the LFG. That's what's up.
Boy, Howard.
Sig is asking, is there a cardiologist in the DPF family? Please provide your number for services. Not sure I can take Kimbrel going forward. Oh my God. Like that other night when Kimbrel was in, I think and then like he came back in. We were all losing our goddamn fucking minds. I was like, what is going on here? Chris starts rocking. I'm bouncing the ball, like go back and forth. It was wild.
But for real, it wasn't just him. Even Alvarado couldn't throw a strike.
Yeah.
And so that compounded it.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No.
Obviously, we've seen it all
what
year.
I was going to say is at least when we have Kimbrel, fumble or, Alvarado fumble or Soto or whoever, the other guy picked them up. There was 2 guys in a row.
Yeah.
So Duke can go.
But I think like all season you saw though too that our guys really struggle when they come in and end an inning and then have to come back out for a second inning. And they did that multiple times the other night. You had Alvarado do it, you had Kimbrel do it, and you had Soto do it, and they all kind of lost their control in that second inning when they came out there. So it's something to watch going forward. And I'm sure that might not be the game plan in this series. It was just matchups in that Brave series. And I mean, Topper looked like a mad genius. I mean, every button he pushed worked in that series, even when we were going, what the hell is he doing? Like, why are it worked. It worked. Luck or knowledge or game planning, whatever it was, I'll take it, and I'll take it 8 more times, so.
Yeah. Every time they brought a reliever in, I was like, get him the fuck out of here. And Dugan's like, no, he's not even in for 3 batters at the end of the inning. I said, get him the fuck out of here.
I was saying the same thing. I was there at the game and I was saying the same thing. I'm like, oh, these guys got to stay in for 3 batters. What the fuck is Topper doing? We're all cursing up in the stands. It got so bad that by the time they got to Strom, it was crickets. No one cheered for him when he came in to relief. Like, I don't know if you heard that on the TV or not. I mean, it was dead silent. Everybody's like, what the fuck, Strom? That's what everybody was saying. Like,
we're all shitting our pants. Jason, fuck the Diamondbacks. There's Jason. The first one of the day. So there's, let me mark off one on the board over here. Michael Hurto, see you Tuesday. Absolutely. See you Monday, maybe. FTD, like it's not the florist, it's fuck the Diamondbacks this week.
Alex.
Flowers.
Little attaboy from Josh. You know what happens when you attaboy. Chris FTD Bags. Okay, I like that. Chris has a sweet setup. He's in Florida somewhere, and it's like he's got the pool outside, and he's got like the TV set up. I think the pool like does different colors. I'm going to segue for a moment with the different colors. I don't know if you were at Textile at the time. So we're in college. We had you were, because we had to go down Florida for Clearwater. This is going to be meaningful and has something to do with Chris and his pool. So my roommate at the time, unnamed, he was a really cool dude. He just didn't really get a lot of girls. So it was probably because of his nickname we gave for him, but I'm not going to say it today. It may come out at some point. But we're down in Florida, and he's like, yo, Chris, he goes, this girl wants me to go back to her place with her. And I says, that's awesome, dude. What do you want? Do you need help? You need pointers? Fucking do it. So he's like, yeah, I don't want to go alone. So we're leaving for Philly the next day. And our coach is a fucking ball breaker. Like, if it was 9 o'clock, we had to be there and he wasn't there, this dude's out of there. He would have fucking drove home, no questions asked. So we're at the place, and like, I was like, listen, man, I just want to go and sleep or maybe have some beers. I don't want any, other girls to be there. I just want to go to sleep, dude. I'm just tired. I'm just going here to like, because you asked me to. So we go there, and of course there's, another one of our teammates went, and there was 2 other girls. So there's like, some type of setup, and I'm just not having it. And they asked like, hey, do you want anything? And I was like, yeah, I'll take a fucking sandwich. Like, if they're offering something, and I'm like, I was kind of like a little bit of an asshole, just because I was a little honored. Yeah. So, this girl makes a fucking sandwich. Like, it's like bologna and cheese. There's mustard on one side, mayo on the other, because I'm being an asshole. Like, yeah, do this. So comes to this, everyone's drinking a little bit. Everyone goes to sleep. They have a pool. This is around Easter time, remember, because spring training is like in March. So I go and I find the fucking egg dye, like pause. It's in the thing. I find like the other one. I fucking dyed their pool. I dyed their pool and it ended up being purple. No bullshit. Next morning, like, we just got back there. That's a story for another time. I'm just going to talk about the pool one. So, but the ending of that one is unexpected as well.
Epic.
Nancy Philly can't stop smiling. Absolutely. Jason, again, I'm glad you guys could do this and didn't have to go to the bus. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure either. Let us know what that means, Jason. Bart? Is people just typing stuff now?
Think so.
I think they're messing with it. Okay, we appreciate it anyway.
Oh, thanks, Lisa.
That is a really nice thing to say. I appreciate it.
I don't know that you're right, but thanks.
James, thanks for the positive vibes on the Phillies. Absolutely. I appreciate you, James, and you saying that.
Well, we haven't looked back at game 2 yet.
Well, yeah, then you're going to kind of say. I'm going to do 3 more randomly here. Drew Garfield is going to get 2 of them, so we're going to do 2 after this. A little let's go. I fuck with this show. No, that's not the good one. Like DPF, I fuck with this show. Drew Garfield.
Yeah, that's a t-shirt.
Damn,
That's fantastic.
I'm glad I went to that comment. Paulie just gave us a nothing. What's up, man? No, thanks for tuning in. Bob Ryan with a little John Kruk. Are those love things or just smiles and happy faces?
I think
Do you know Bob?
Lick you.
Good for you, John. Love's love, man. Love is love. All right, so we're going to go to the next segment, was just looking back at the Diamondbacks and the NLDS thoughts. So we're going to
Braves.
Is that what you wanted? Okay.
Looking back at the Braves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of stat looking up here, guys. So we had some guys that hit really well. We had some guys that did not hit well, right? So Turner at 500, Harper at 368, Nicky 3 Buttons at 391, Captain Caveman at 357, and I'll throw JT and Stott in there. JT at 273 and Stott at 38, right? We talked about it on the lead up into the NLDS, right? We needed the stars to step up, and guess what? We got a lot of it. A lot of homers. I think it was 11 total, 6 in the one game that some of us were able to go to, which was super cool. Now you got the flip side of that, where we've got a few guys that need to, step it up, with Bohm at 190, Schwartz at 160, and Rojas at a lusty 048. Honestly, he looked overmatched in almost every situation.
You just get 048 by putting your name on the line.
Right.
Though, like yes, right?
That's exactly what it is. You see.
Yeah.
So I think those are the guys that we need to look towards, for some help in this series. And then, pitching, Suarez 1.04 in his couple outings, Nola a 1.42, and Wheeler a 2.48. And then if you go into the bullpen, we had a couple of guys with an ERA, but most of them gave up 0 runs. So Soto at a 5.40 and Hoffman at a lusty 18. Every other bullpen pitcher we had didn't give up a run, which is crazy. So just flipping over to the Bravos for a second, Acuna and Rosario and Arnold, D Arnold, they all hit 143. Ozuna and Arcia, my buddy, we'll talk about him later, at 154. Olsen hit 250. Albies hit 267. Murphy 286. And Riley really stepped it up for them. He looked good, and he's a Philly killer anyway. He hit 353. And my boy Pilar, I looked him up. He's 34 years old. He was drafted in 2011. He hit a lusty 0. And then their pitchers, Strider 284, Fried a 671, and Hand had a 9 ERA. Smith Schwaber, however you say his name, 10.13, Elder a 20.25, and Minter a 27. So I think the moral of that story is we got to their starters and we really got to their bullpen. So I'll tell you, having been able to go live to one game, I feel super proud of that and lucky. And I will tell you that place was vibrating, and that's why I have a lot of faith going into the next series. So who's up, John? What do you think? Looking back.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of stats there. I was going to go. I wanted to focus on who we all picked last series to be the standout player. I picked Nick. I think Dugan, you picked Harper, right?
I did pick Harper, yeah.
And then Chris picked Stott, right?
Yeah.
And Mike, who'd you pick? Bohm, right?
I think I was absent, but in absentia, probably Bohm. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Nicky three buttons did his job, and so did Harper. Stott. I think the ones who didn't show up at the plate last series was Schwarber, Stott, and Bohm, and I don't think you're going to get away with doing that in another series. You can have maybe one guy fall off, maybe two, maybe for a game or two, but you can't have three of your guys, especially Stott and Bohm, two of your best hitters. You can't have that many people fall off during the whole series. They're not going to get away with it like going forward if they want to, advance past this and then get and especially World Series. But overall, I liked how we were hitting. Overall, Topper drove me nuts that first game with only pitching Ranger 3 innings and then all the changes and all that shit. But he winds up being a genius, and I can't stand it. I'm that fan. Like, he makes these decisions that want to make me wring his neck, and then he comes out in the postseason after they won, and he looks good. It's like, oh, yeah, I planned it that way. No, you did it, man. That's my opinion, though. I like the guy. He drives me nuts sometimes, but hey, it did work out, right? And Wheeler pitched his ass off. Nola, holy shit. Nola with another strong, dominant game. We've shit on him all year because he deserved to be shit on all year. But hey, man, so far in the playoffs, I cannot say any bad words about the guy. We're going to need another one from him in this series. Maybe two. I hope not two, but I mean, at least, another strong outing. And we need Ranger to last longer too. Stay in the game a little longer, and not use the pen so much. I know Topper likes the righty lefty stuff, but maybe if we can get some more time out of him, and I'm hoping to see Sanchez this series coming up. But yeah, I liked what I saw overall with the pit, and the pitching was great overall, and the batting, like the last game when I was there, it was a little iffy with who he was bringing in and all, but we won, so he pulled it off. You got Dugan.
Yeah. So first thing I want to say is I want to thank Major League Baseball for changing the format. Because those 5 days, the Braves completely forgot how to play baseball. I mean, they mind erased them. They couldn't play baseball anymore. So I'm going to make a suggestion to Major League Baseball to help these 100-win teams when they get in the playoffs. So I think Game 1 needs to be a T-ball game so they can get their swings back and really work it back into it. Game 2, I think we'll do coach pitch. We'll have the batting practice guy go out and throw. That'll really get the Braves, back into the swing. One T-ball might not work, coach pitch. Then we're going to go to the machine for Game 3. Game 4, we'll let them throw it up in the air and hit it themselves and see what happens. And then Game 5, we'll really let the pitcher start playing. Because by Game 5, they should be They should be ready to play baseball. The fucking Braves fans are an absolute joke. The Phillies fucking dominated this series. Dominated. From the first pitch to the last pitch. You take away an inning and a half of baseball, and the Phillies should have walked away with this series in 4 games. Like, it was embarrassing the way the Braves played. The Phillies hit 275 to their 186. We scored 20 runs. They scored 8. 11 home runs to 3. 16 extra base hits to 4. A 180 Phillies ERA to a 4.5 ERA for the Braves. We dominated them from the first pitch to the last pitch. Our star showed up, and theirs whined and cried. And that's the difference. I'm tired of hearing about the 5-day layoff. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. They got their number 1 starter, made 2 starts in that series, and we beat them both games. If they played any sooner, Max Fried wouldn't have been ready to pitch. So they got their number 2 starter an opportunity to start a game. So they it's the Braves' own fault if they weren't prepared to play after 5 days off, and it's the manager's fault for not having them prepared to play. But at what point are we expecting them to be ready? Game 2, Game 3, Game 4? Because all those games we kicked their ass. They never showed up in this series, and that's why they're gone. So I don't want to hear any shit about the format or we should have been playing the Diamondbacks because the Phillies were the higher seed. You think you're so goddamn good. I heard about how great this offense was. Where was it? Where were you? Where were you? Hit 400-foot bombs now on the golf course for the next 2 weeks, Braves. Go fuck off. What do you got, Chris?
I mean, yeah, that's I'm gonna say, keeping it simple, timely hitting, pitching, and defense, that's the way to win. And other than Turner, who is the unknown cog, I will say every time something's hit to him, I am shitting my pants. Because if it's not the catch, it's the throw. And if he doesn't do that, I think we might have won that game and just ended it in 4, ended it in 3. So it was pure domination. There wasn't really any question. And you're kind of I respected the Braves because you see the numbers and you're like, this team isn't very good. And there's a reason why the team isn't very good. And that's because there's not a leader on that team. We'll get that a little bit later. But I guess now we'll kind of move over to the Diamondback series and just kind of what did you hear or think or see about that? So if you want to go, Mike.
Yeah, I think we covered the Diamondbacks. Did we do that first? I think we should just
everyone's good on it.
Yeah,
okay. I didn't know if there was any other thoughts.
I think we're good. I think we should go right into.
So we'll go into Acuna, Arcia, and Strider. So I just want to start off, and I'm going to speak something directly to Arcia. Hold on a second, because he doesn't know English, right?
No.
Yeah. So I'm going to say, Manten tu maldita boca carada. Fucking say what you want, but know it's going to be heard, or shut the fuck up. That's what it means, a loose translation.
Yes.
So I'm going to move on. That's what, one more time. Manten tu maldita boca cerrada.
Muy bien. I'll go next. So you said it well. There's no leader, right? We can have a clear leader in that clubhouse, right? We also have a bunch of other guys that back him up, right? So we know that Harper's the leader of the team. We know that between Schwarber and JT and Castellanos, they keep the kids under control a little bit, right? But when your best player, the so-called National League MVP, which, by the way, I don't know when you vote for that, but if you voted before this series, I wish if I had a vote, I could take it back if I voted for him, because this guy is out there literally in every media outlet that he can get into, saying that it wasn't fair, and the fans were a big factor, and we shouldn't have to play in this conditions, and making every single excuse. He hit 143, guys. We just said it a little bit ago. He did nothing to help their team or lead their team. And then this guy, what did you say again?
Manten tu maldita boca cerrada.
Yeah. So if that means shut up, that's what he should do. This guy is now if one of the Phillies was going like this to the fans in the Braves, there would be national news. We would be vilified for what, decades? Like, I get it. Somebody threw a battery at Santa Claus. Do you know that Santa Claus is a drunk dude that lives in South Philly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they don't tell you that part in all those stories. But you know, to your point, I think reporters have a duty to whatever they hear to report, and no one's ever written down on a, you know, no reporter has an NDA statement, right? So for him to have said what he said and then been held to task on it, and then now he's, you know, mocking fans at Citizens Bank Park, like that's, I don't know, to me that's just, they need to address that as a team, and they need to bring someone into that team to be a clubhouse leader. I think final thought for me is at least WB Mason took a little bit of responsibility. He came out in the press and he said, "Hey, listen, I wasn't as good as I could have been, although it was pretty damn good. We just got to him a little bit. You know, I could have done more to help us win," and took a little bit of responsibility. I took a little bit, you know, got a little bit more respect for him after I heard those comments. So, Dugan, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, you know, just Acuna, all-world talent. You can't dispute how good of a ball player Acuna is. But the guy's a punk, and he's an individual. He's all about himself. Down whatever, we were beating him 7-1 the other night, and he steals second base, and he gets up with all the flashing hand signals. Like, come on, dude. You're down 7-1. You're about to go down 2-1 in the series. Like, come on. You don't do that shit when you're losing. And he didn't show up 2 for 14 or whatever he went in the series with, you know, with no home runs, and I don't think he had an RBI in the whole series. So no, he is not a leader. Great talent, terrible clubhouse guy, terrible team guy. As far as Arcia goes, if anybody in the Braves fans think that him saying "attaboy" is the reason Harper came out and hit 2 home runs, you're a freaking fool. Bryce Harper was going to hit 2 home runs no matter what. Bryce Harper, he doesn't cower when the big lights come on. He gets brighter and he steps up. That's his stage, and that's where he shows up. Where the Brave stars scattered like cockroaches as soon as the big lights came on, you know. And Harper was going to hit 2 home runs no matter what you said to him. But as far as him making the faces and mocking like a 3-year-old, you know, to the fans, if that was a Phillies player, Mike, I think our fans would have called that guy out more than anybody in the media ever could have. You know, Bryce's stare's one thing. That was a tense thing. But doing this shit, I know he doesn't speak English, and maybe he didn't know how to shit talk back to the fans. But that's embarrassing. All the Braves players should be embarrassed by it. The organization should be embarrassed by it, and the fans should be fucking embarrassed by it. Because if one of our guys did it, I'd be fucking saying that guy was a piece of shit for our team. You know?
So, Chris, it's funny when you say this. It's like on the page, right? When someone says something ridiculous or someone says something out of pocket, we don't say anything. You know why? You know who does? Our own fans say it.
Our own
like,
fans,
yo, this isn't a
exactly.
place for that. Get the fuck out of here. You know, beat it. I mean,
Yep.
I'm not going on Brave sites and like talking shit to them or the Diamondbacks, but these other fans, like, they're coming on our page and doing
They're coming on our
We're
page.
not doing it on theirs at all, ever. And
They're delusional.
Us, you know, us.
They're delusional too. They're still talking shit. Like,
Yeah.
you lost. Oh, well, you guys got no hit in the World Series last year. Yeah, but we were in the fucking World Series last year, asshole. Like,
We weren't
you know,
playing golf.
yeah, stop it. Like, you're trolling after you fucking lost and got dominated. You know?
Who does that? Like,
So, attaboy Braves fans. Fans. Fuck
yeah.
off. Go ahead, John.
Y'all,
Yeah, like
or whatever you say down there. Yeehaw.
Like the meme I threw on the page, Ozuna, Acuna, Hatuna Matata, fills in fucking 4. Like, I knew we were gonna win that shit. And I got some Spanish for you. You got ESP, Chris. I got some more Spanish. Arcia is una pena. Arcia is a bitch. Like him, and I forget which Chris. I mean, not which Chris. I forget which catcher said it. I think it was Darno, but he was crying. oh, now we can't trust any reporters in the locker room, blah, 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 blah. Dickhead. If after a win or even a loss, like anything anything in that locker room, and if there's a reporter there, it's fair fucking game. It's their job to report on what you're doing.
Otherwise, it's closed door.
Exactly.
It's closed door. If there's reporters
Yeah,
there,
you
it's
wait until
an open game. Don't say it if you don't
Yeah.
fucking want it repeated.
Well, you'll notice all of our guys
Exactly.
were saying "fuck the Braves" and they didn't give a shit, right?
Yeah.
No, they didn't give two shits. Wait until the freaking reporters leave. And now, I'm hearing the poor dude who leaked it or reported on it. I'm not going to call it a leak. He did his fucking job.
Did his job. Yep.
The poor guy might lose his freaking credentials over this. Like, why? He was doing his fucking job. Now, I'm not a fan of the media sometimes. They do go too far once in a while. But in this case, he was doing his job. Don't speak unless you want it leaked out. And especially don't give a city like us any billboard material. And like Duke had said, Harper was going to perform anyway. And if I wasn't already going to build him a statue before that speech after Game 3, I'm building that shit now. I was in fucking tears. It was like the end of Rudy for me. I'm like, that's my boy. Like, you know what I mean? I was hyped. I wanted to run through a wall for that dude. How he was talking about that's why he came here. That's why he wants to play here, bring a trophy back here. And there's a number one problem with the Braves, too. They got no fucking culture. They got a lot of stars and egos, but no culture. We have a culture here. Like, Harper's calling his buddies and like, yo, he's calling the right people, too. Like, yo, buy into this. We're a group where he's not calling any douchebags to come here. He's calling good character guys, good star guys, good ball players. The Braves are just signing, let's go get this guy. Like, I don't think the only classy guy I remember the Braves having in recent years was Freddie Freeman. I hated the guy, but great ball player, great class stand-up guy. He's gone now, and there's just no character.
Seems maybe like that guy. Like Olsen seems doesn't fit in, other than he hits 70 bombs, but he seems like just a quiet guy, and that's not a leader though. I mean, I guess you could be. There was someone on Twitter or X or whatever the fuck we're calling it, posted a clip of the 93 whatever it takes dude. And an interesting part in that was Dalton, after the game, there were cameras rolling because it was the documentary. He says, no one pop off to the media. Everyone shut your mouth. And you know what? If Darren Dalton tells me to shut my fucking mouth, I'm shutting my mouth because Dave Holland is over here. Pete Incubili is over there. I'm shutting my mouth. And the Braves didn't have that.
No, clearly the leader.
The best thing about that yearbook from that year, though, was Larry Anderson talking shit to the kid, the Mets fan, the little kid.
Yeah, that was great.
It's like you team stinks and all that stuff. But one more thing, and with the throwing it was unclassy, and you never seen the Phillies fans throw shit on the fucking field like that, and not in recent years anyway. They have. I'm not naive. Maybe they did back in the day at one time, but I'm tired of hearing snowballs of Santa Claus. But did you notice there was no national coverage about throwing beers on the friggin' field? And that's how you could tell.
They're empties, dude. Yeah. They're empties. Yeah. We're crushing them up, and they're empties. We're not sending fucking half. Never.
We're throwing empties. We're throwing empties, or I'm clotheslining the guy next to me with his fruity seltzers or Surfside, and I'm throwing that on the field. Don't throw beer. Only wusses throw beer. That's all I got on that.
Let me touch on a point John brought up about the culture here with the Phillies. I saw a quote. I think it was Jeff Hoffman being interviewed after the game, and they were talking about the Phillies star players and the $300 million men and all that. And his comment was something along the lines of like, our big money guys, they're just guys. They're one of us. They're part of what we're doing, and they don't try and outshine the other guys. Where I think the Braves are, Acuna's got all his flashy jewelry on, and his bright orange or yellow cleats and all his orange, yellow stuff. Not even part of the color scheme. He wants to stand out. He wants to be an individual. He doesn't want to be an Atlanta Brave. He wants to be Ronald Acuna and the Atlanta Braves. He wants to be the lead singer of the group. Where everybody knows Bryce Harper's our lead singer, but he's just as easy to fade in the background and do background music for somebody else. Where Acuna wants to always be out front. So I thought that quote from Jeff Hoffman spoke volumes about the quality of teammates that these guys are, these big dollar guys. I think it really does. You see a difference with the Phillies than you do with some of these other teams.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like
you pointed it
you
out.
see
You pointed
Acuna
out
raising the base, right? And you see our guys doing this, or Bryce specifically, and it's like, it's
Even
not
the T-shirt,
it's
he
team
had
over
he was wearing his own T-shirt in his press conference, a 4070
Yeah.
T-shirt. Harper's walking around with a Turner T-shirt on.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, we're wearing each other's T-shirts. Like you pointed out last week, was it last week or the week before? Brandon Marsh isn't in the lineup, but he's rooting hard for Pache. Like, I know I'm not in, but go ahead, dude, go hard. That's the kind of leadership and the kind of character and the kind of camaraderie that they have, and I love it. It's all like one big family.
Yep.
Chemistry.
Go to some comments here. So Drew wants to know what the rotation looks like. Well, I think we'll get to that on our predictions a little bit. And Gallon, South Jersey boy, Bishop Eustace. Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate that he was from here. I don't like that he's wearing the Chris Sabo rec specs. There's just something to hate. We got a mustache that we hate. We have glasses that we're going to hate.
Sabo was my guy, though.
Sig, Bohm needs to start showing some signs of life. Do they flip him with Casty or don't fuck what's working? Man,
it's a great question.
I was going to bring this up too when we got to our predictions. I like this question. I know what camp I'm in.
Yeah, you and we disagree, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I'm a flip him.
Jimmy's
I'm already him in the 4 hole.
I'm gonna leave him alone.
I'm not sure, but I'd like to hear both of your views.
I think
I could be convinced either way.
Phillies in 6, I like that.
Phillies in 6, been saying that all along. Phillies in 5.
Wow. Oh,
yeah. Drew, Bryce Harper's birthday is Monday, so he will be having a blast. Okay. Didn't know that, but now we do.
Now we need a cake.
Yeah. Schwarber needs to get a head out his ass, and Boom needs to figure things out. Yeah, Jimmy, we agree with that. They're
100%.
just been poor. All right, here we go. The Mr. Negler. I apologize to the DPF podcast. It should always start with that, Mr. Negler. I appreciate that. I haven't read the rest of it, but I feel like there's going to be a P word here.
Wait a minute.
I said in 5. All you said in 4 games to beat the Braves. So I see Phil's in 4 in this series. Okay, there was no P words. No need to apologize. We like that one. We love that.
P word was silent.
Anyone going to Phoenix? So my friend lives in Phoenix, and I would have like a free room. If he lets me. So Kevin, if you're watching this, like I'm interested. I have the pricing for it. If you're not there, I won't destroy your house. I promise. It will just be me. Wink, wink. It won't be my DPF boys. But I don't know if any of us are going. I mean, I would love to, and if I can like figure out working remotely there a couple of days, then going to the game, I'd love to be able to do it. But I don't think any of us are 100% on that. I just priced it out. It's cheaper for me to fly there and back, go to all 3 games, than to pay, a 200 row seat at any of the games, at game 1 or game 2. So I'm like, I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Right. I just put away all my summer clothes though.
Yeah.
So like that's the part that sucks. But I only that's it. Yeah. I only need like a pair of drawers, a pair of shorts, an Acme bag, and a toothbrush, and I'm good. So
couple DPF t-shirts.
All you need.
Oh
all
yeah,
you
that's true. That is true.
All you need is a couple DPF t-shirts and. All you need is a couple of DPF t-shirts and Gabe's thong.
Oh, that's right. I could have Gabe's coconut lotion out there.
There you go.
Because I'll be a little bit closer. I might only need 1 t-shirt too, because when they win, I'm like not changing the t-shirt or washing the window. Fuck no. I'll bring one just in case there's a loss. Fuck the Braves. Fuck the Chop.
That's one thing we didn't talk about. When we were able to go, we did the Chop better than them by far.
Yeah, and I think there was people saying like, "Oh, that's racist" when you're making fun of them doing it, which they're not racist, but when we know what it is, so I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." I didn't realize that was how it goes. Strom wasn't cheered. You could tell
Yeah.
watching on TV. Okay.
Crickets.
Until he got the last out.
I was just too worried.
I think we're all holding our breath.
We were
Yeah.
definitely holding our breath.
I was like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Fuck Longoria. Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what? Fuck him, man. Wasn't
Fuck
he
Eva
on those
Longoria.
Giants teams when we should have went and like we weren't bitching and moaning like, oh, we were the best team. We won 100 games and the Giants kicked our ass. Remember that?
Hey, we
How old
we
is
beat him when
that?
he was on
He's
the
gotta be
Rays. He was on the Rays. We
35,
beat him.
right?
37. Yeah. I have never seen the garage as quiet as it was during game 4. There were like Chris and I, there's a great picture. So Chris's daughters took like impromptu pictures, and it's like me and Chris like this, like, you know, that worried look, like we're like, oh my God, we're like sweating bullets and we're just like this. And we were like praying to Brahma, Vishnu, God, the Pope, everyone. Like I was just
Sig
like,
was
oh my
hiding in
God.
the corner.
Oh yeah, he was. He was on the naughty step.
Sig, I'm surprised he wasn't outside hiding like a couple games ago.
Oh my
He stepped
goodness.
out. He did step out for a little bit.
Yeah. Patrick Strom has been more of a great asset than a lot of fans think. He said he came here because of where the Phillies are right now. You have to love that attitude too. Yeah. I mean,
every team needs a crypt keeper, right?
yeah, that's right. And someone else said he looked like, so this was a good one. And I don't know if it was one of our fans or I saw it on X/Twitter. If you are old enough to see Ferris Bueller's Day Off, when Ferris parked that beautiful red car, the Porsche, and one of the guys that worked at the garage stole it, he looks
Yeah.
exactly like Matt Strom.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is dead on. I was like, that dude. He's like, you know, don't drive it nowhere.
Yeah.
Hey, no worries. We're professionals. Like that part.
remember-
I thought it was awesome.
He was the villain in every other A-Team episode.
Oh, yeah.
He also looks like Tom Petty now that I think about it.
Yeah. Free falling. I'm gonna replay game 4 in the garage tonight and get drunk all over again like Thursday. Oh, so Paulie, you're the one with the cool garage too. Yeah, yours is badass, man. Yeah, play it over again, but I don't know. I don't know. Play game 3 over again.
Yeah. It
Don't play game 4. Game 3 was a lot more
Yeah.
fun.
was more fun to
Yeah. Acuna said he couldn't talk to reporters because he has to go to the bus.
Oh,
yes.
I forgot about that.
Like,
That's what he was
Thank
saying.
you, Jason.
yes. Thanks, Jason. I forgot that he did say that because he had to go to the bus.
Yeah.
Like, what a weasel thing to do.
And talk about if you have fans, they want to hear what you're feeling, right? Even if you lost, even if you shit the bed like you did, the fans of Acuna want to hear that, right? And he goes and hides.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Could have stood up there. Amy, what's up? I'll be down there Monday. Let's go. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Send pics, post pics
Yeah.
to the page.
I know you'd be wearing the gear. We always appreciate you. Steve, yay, we're in the NLCS. I'm out at
Yay.
breweries and wineries. I'll be in the stands Monday.
Cool.
I mean, Steve, you didn't have to tell me you were out at a brewery or a winery. I think we all figured it. If you're not at a baseball park around the nation, you're at a brewery or a winery. I respect it, and I'm jealous.
Yeah.
It's a man on a mission. He's committed. He's committed.
He is. All right, we'll do 3 more. So, Sig, what's the best soup for today? He's, you know, a bit nipply and wet fall Saturday. Homemade split pea soup. I don't know. That's too exorcist
Yeah.
for me. I'm sure it's delicious.
Yeah.
Chili. Today. Chili.
Oh, that is a good one.
You got to go three meat though. You got to go beef, pork, turkey.
My wife makes pumpkin chili, and like I tend to ask for it around this time of the year. And occasionally, like once I see she buys ground meat and the puree of pumpkin puree, I'm like, "Hey, Renee, you making it?" And she's like, "Chris, it's 7 o'clock." Like, no, I'm not making chili at 7 o'clock. And then she says some other words, but it's probably like, you know, handsome and beautiful.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
it's not those
Oh,
terrible
yeah.
words. All right.
Yeah.
Jimmy, Schwerber sucked ass.
You can't argue that.
Nola definitely deserves some more paper. Let's
Uh,
go around the room. Do you want him back next year, boys? On what he's done so far. Mike?
They're going to pay him.
Okay.
And this is why he's so inconsistent throughout the year, but look what he's done so far in the postseason. They're going to pay him. That's just my opinion.
I
John?
think he gets. I think he gets
Chris?
paid also. I think he gets paid also.
Okay.
I think it's a product of not only what he's done recently, but also the market isn't. There's not another guy to replace him out there.
Good call.
So I think that's he's going to get paid.
Yeah. John?
Yeah, I'm out on Nola. I think he's out. The way his body language and just all year around and the way he's talking, he don't want to be here either. He wants to go to a team that's actually going to pay him. I don't waste the money on him. There are a couple guys I'm looking at. I mean, we'll get that in another episode, but there's people we can get. I'm out on him. Let him walk.
Yeah. He could pitch 4 no-hitters, and I'm completely out. I'm not interested.
Same.
I think I'm just done with his bullshit and droopy dog nonsense. So we'll see. I mean, get us a ring, and I'll love you forever. But I don't want you here next year. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'll buy you a
Put
beer
on the Wall
next.
of Fame
Yeah.
I'll buy you a
10
beer when
years.
you come to town.
Yeah.
love you, but get the fuck out of here.
Jamie loved DPF and loved the Phillies. It's been a many long year journey to here. 8 more to go.
There you
8
go.
more to go. And 1 more. Let's see. Kelly, we all hate the trash cans in Houston, but they didn't seem to be affected by the 5-day layoff. Huh. Interesting. Well, Chris, like, you're the one that sent that in the group chat. Like, this is a perfect time to bring that up.
Yeah.
Right?
The Braves thing when they won.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Braves fans,
Great
they're
call.
going back and forth saying all this, the delay, five days off. But when I went back, the Braves won the World Series in 2001, and there was a 4-day layoff between the end of the regular season and when they started the playoffs. So it kind of throws their theory out the window. They just weren't prepared to play baseball the last 2 years for whatever reason. Maybe it's different leadership. Maybe it's Freddie Freeman wasn't there. He was there in 2021. Maybe he was the leader back then and kept those guys in line and had them ready to play where they didn't have that guy the last 2 years. But yeah, they had 4 days in 2021 between the last day of the regular season and the first game they played in the playoffs. So
Those
excuse-
NLCS banners, though, like
Oh,
opening
yeah,
day,
yeah,
they can hang that one up. That's going to be awesome.
they'll be falling out of the closets. They got so many of them,
Can't wait.
Come on. Jesus Christ. I got as many as them as I have DPF shirts.
Somebody said they win a World Series for every 1,000 NL East titles.
It might be
Regular season
Actually,
champs, man.
mathematically
They have been
correct.
forever.
Yeah.
Regular season
Yep.
champs.
Yeah, like they should be in the English Premier League because whoever wins and is in first place in that, there's no such thing as playoffs over there. So they could say, you know what, we've won the most games and we're gonna, have the flag, have the title. You can go 0-0 and hit 0-47.
How many kids in Africa run around with Braves World Series champ shirts
A lot of them.
or NL National League Championship shirts?
They send them over there by the boatload.
Yeah, I'd say most of third world
Yeah.
Africa.
Them and Cowboys won.
There's a whole lot of drunk fishermen wearing those Uzun jerseys over there.
Yeah. Next year's our year, the Braves and
Yeah.
Cowboys.
Yep.
All right, so I guess we'll flip into ALCS predictions. We'll let John go first here.
I'm saying 6. I think we definitely. I'm not scared. of them.
ALCS.
Ale.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. Ooh, it's the Astros are not the same as last year, but they're still solid. But the Rangers are scary fucking good, man. Like even without DeGrom and Scherzer, their pitching has pitched like lights out, and their lineup. I don't want to face their lineup. Their lineup 1 through 9 is crazy, and I'm not even just saying that because they beat us back early in the season because we weren't figuring shit out that early anyway. We were in our little funk and all, but they're scary good. But I want the Astros to win because I want to. When we win, I want that rematch. But if I'm saying it's going to take all 7 for the Astros to beat these guys.
Okay.
What do you think, Dugan?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think it's Astros in 7, and I'm just going with the Astros experience. I think they're
Yeah.
and they got a lot of talent. They got a good team. They got really good pitching as well. The Astros, the Rangers are a good team. They're fun to watch. Their offense is a lot of fun to watch. But I think the experience and how deep the Astros team is going to be the difference. And I think but I do think it goes 7.
So everything I read is back and forth, right? I read a couple of these things where they compare each position on each team, right? And you know, what it boiled down to for the couple of ones that I read was, it's so close, but it feels like the Rangers can pull it out in 7. And I hate to echo you, Dugan, but I disagree with both of the guys that I read. I think they've not been there in a long time. And so the Astros experience with everything that they've done over the last few years, like 5 of the last 7 World Series, if they win this ALCS, I think they edge it out like hair on their chinny chin chin in 7. And, to just selfishly to, have a rematch. So what do you think?
Yep.
I
Astros
think
in 5.
let me just add one thing, Chris, before you go. The one X factor I think for the Rangers is Bochy, because of
Yes.
his deep experience with deep playoff runs and World Series wins. So he's an X factor. He could make a difference. You don't rarely can a manager win you a game. He could lose you a game, but I think Bochy's playoff experience comes into play for the Rangers too.
Yeah, Astros in 5. That's just kind of the way I see it. I think the experience.
Damn, you just shit on my Bochy.
Well, I mean, I think it's more of,
That's what he's
everyone's like Texas, like their offense is awesome. Well, I don't know. Like, you get Verlander twice and he can have us 2 stud games and that shit's over real quick. And, Framber Valdez and Christian Javier, like, good morning, good night, and see you, tomorrow. So I think that's what happens. Alvarez is going to have a monster series. And they just been there before. And I don't see it any other way. I don't think Texas even, I think they eke out a win, but I think it's convincingly Houston. And that's just where I am on it. I appreciate that I see it could go 6 or 7. I just think, it's going to be a 5 for me. And it's more of the pitching, and they've been there before. So that's where I'm at. So do we want to go right into the NLCS, or do we want to do comments here? So let's go into it. I want to go last, so let's just go backwards the way we did last time, whatever that is. So hopefully someone remembers.
Yeah, John's up.
Yeah, as I messed up the last time, now I'm finally on the right series here. I think we take the Diamondbacks in 6. I'm not scared of them, but I just see, and we're not losing a game at home. I think we're going to lose the 2 out there. Like, we take the first 2 here because we got Wheeler and Nola. I'm confident in them. As long as Nola pitches lights out like the last 2 series, I'm cool with him. Like I said, I can't shit on him. He's been crazy good so far, and the lineup's been hitting. I need, like I said before, I need Schwarber, Bohms, the Stotts. They need to step up and hit. I think, and plus our home crowd. That's 2 words. Our home, 3 words. Our home crowd. Like, it's what you need behind them. We start from the beginning of the first pitch till the end of the game. I was at the game the other night, and people were standing for everything. The first pitch, Joe Blanton, yeah, everybody. We're honoring this guy. After the anthem, they said something like everybody was standing ovations before even Ranger threw a ball. Like, it was nuts. It was a rocking the whole night, except when Strom came out. But like our home crowd, I think we take the first 2 here, and I don't really care how we lose the 2. I don't want us to lose 2, but I just think we lose 2 somehow out there. We do take 1, and we come back and wrap it up in Game 6 here, and boom, lights out. We're going to the World Series. Scott Dugan.
There we go.
I'm going Phils in 5. And I think the Phillies actually split at home just because that's when Arizona's going to have their top two guys. They're going to have Gallen and Merrill Kelly going. I think they lose one of those two games. And then I think that's where the pitching advantage really turns into the Phillies' favor in games 3 and 4. Because I don't see a guy after those two in the Diamondbacks rotation that scares me. And I think Ranger can go out there and win a game. I'm thinking it's going to be Taijuan Walker pitching game 4. I kind of looked at the Diamondbacks numbers against righties and lefties, and they're almost a mirror image of each other. So I think based on that, you go with Walker and his 15 wins during the regular season over Sanchez. I think Walker wins his game because I don't see another guy that's going to match up with him. And then I think in game 5, Wheeler comes back and wins it. So I think we win 3 out there and split here. So I'm saying Phil's in 5.
Yeah. I go back and forth. So again, the Phillies have a lot of advantages position by position. I think the ones that stick out the most are the bullpen and DH and first base. So I like the Phillies in 6. I think for some reason, Arizona finds a way to win too, but we come back home and that game 6 is raucous, and the 10th man, we'll call it, at Citizens Bank Park comes to play, and we take it that day with Nola's second start. So I got them Phillies in 6.
Cool. So I'm going to do my predictions a little bit different, and I'm going to be, how many games it's going to be still, but I'm going to do liquid. Hopefully it'll make a sense here. So this is how many games we're going to have.
Got it. 1. I'll keep the tally.
Keep the tab.
2. 3. 4.
All right. I'm only saying 5 because I want another one.
Phillies in 5.
Phil's in 5. The worry is keeping Carroll off base because the Phillies generally don't hold runners on. And while he's in, batting second, or at least I think he's still going to, he's that one X factor to me. The other one is like Tommy Pham. He's a piece of shit Met, and he's just a playoff genius. So I think you have to worry about him. Other than that, I'm really not worried. Gallen, Kelly, let him pitch 5 or 6, get a couple runs off him, get into the bullpen, and we're going to beat him. I'm going to be like a Braves fan for a moment right now, though. Oh, it's the NLCS, and they get more home games than we do because we only played 5 games and they got 3 and we got 2. Who gives a shit? We won. Really, it's ridiculous. The way they're whining and being babies out there. I wonder if we hate them more than the Mets now.
I mean, it's close, right?
Because the Mets aren't good. I mean, I guess if the Mets are good, we could hate them more.
Yeah, but they're not going to play again. Remember,
1A, 1B, 1A, 1B.
That's true. Yeah,
1A, 1B.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it depends on if we're playing the Braves, they jump ahead. If we're playing the Mets, they jump ahead.
I like it.
With so many comments, so I'm going to just try to randomly pick some because we're kind of getting late in the day, and I'm just going to try to pick people I have not seen. Yeah, because I'm now I'm seeing 5 comments things. Yeah, I'm like, oh my God. Drew, I was going to put yours up, then I saw the P word, and I think my wife is watching, so I'm not going to say that one.
Nice job,
I appreciate that. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. I'm seeing
Atlanta needs to change their name to the Atlanta Bitches for all the crying they're doing. Dugan's 1,000% right.
That's it.
Don't ever say that though, because it gets a little bit of a big head. Fuck Arcia. I think we can all agree on that. It's like fuck Joe Kelly, fuck Scott Rowland, fuck Arcia. Right?
Yeah. That's it. Let's see. There's a lot of the scene. Sig wants Dugan to tell the ha 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 tech story, which this is a good one. This needs some airtime.
Well, I don't remember that one. Which one was that?
When you were getting Mara to like copy and paste ha 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 ha
Oh yeah,
as the
yeah,
comment.
yeah. Oh shit, I forgot about that. I was caught in the moment there. Yeah, so we have a guy who is a troll on the page. I won't say his name. And he was talking shit all year about how the Braves are so good. Now, put it this way, I looked the guy up just because he was such a pain in the ass all season. He lives in North Jersey. He's a Braves fan and a Cowboys fan. So that tells you right there. So
He's a bandwagon jumper.
Also a Lakers fan, I'm sure.
Lakers,
probably.
Alabama.
Yeah, exactly. So I went back and found a comment that he had made whenever it was, and I just typed ha 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 ha, and my daughter copied it, and I think it probably was typed out 5,000 times as our response to him. I've yet to hear back. He kind of disappeared once just like Acuna, just like the Braves, he disappeared. But yeah, the damn comment was like, you know, a CVS receipt on the Facebook page. So it was awesome. Yeah. Thanks for my daughter for showing me how to copy and paste.
So I think all of us on this thread did the same, Dave.
Yes.
David, when that seventh inning happened, we all died 3 times.
Let's do it again on Monday.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fire it back up.
Hopefully it's like we don't need enough we don't have to worry about it being so close is what I'm hoping.
Want no one out, but who's the replacement? Yeah, I think that's what me and Dugan are saying. We don't necessarily want him on the team. I just don't know who you replace him with. And then when he performs in the playoffs like that, I think he paid. And, you know, you guys, I guess John has a couple of guys in his back pocket.
Yeah,
so we'll get to that, I guess, during the offseason, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, Fred, I think that's the point because that's what I was thinking here is like, I don't know, like you have Wheeler, you have Walker, Suarez, Sanchez, and I don't know, like, is it time for Abel or is it time for McGarry to come up? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to put money out on this dude. I just don't want to do it with a pitcher. Let him test the waters. And you're going to get what you get. He's going to give you 150 to 200 innings. He's going to get 200 strikeouts. And he's going to be, 10-10. Right. He's not going to have, he's not going to get more dominant as it gets older. He's just not. So that's kind of why. I mean, some players have done that, but I'm not sure that he's shown that arc of getting more dominant as he's gotten older. All right. Let's see if there's anyone else we haven't seen. So the All-Star game does not decide home field since 2017. And do we like that? I mean, I guess I do. It's like the best team gets to.
I thought it still did.
No. Nope.
No.
Wow. I did not know that.
No.
So the Phils will have home field on Houston, but they will not have home field against Texas.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, they want. Go Houston.
Donna, what's up? Phil's and sick.
All right,
Hope you
Donna.
have the twisted teas or lights. I'm not sure. I stocked them up after. I think it was you were one of the ones that harassed me, like, "Oh, why does your wife only have like one shelf?" I'm like, "Fuck!" I literally went out and I was like, I filled the whole.
Is that why you went for the door?
Yeah, I was like, I filled the whole door up.
Got a girl, Donna. You got DPF wife's back.
So Joe says now 4 games. He's saying a sweep.
He's coming at me, I think.
And he's calling you a dumbass.
All
right.
Yeah. That's all right. I might leave some DPF shirts at home next weekend when I come down the shore. I don't know.
We'll see.
I didn't know your dad called you the same thing as we do, but that's cool. I didn't know that's your real nickname.
Yeah. Hey.
Little FTB.
FTB. Even though I have Game 6 tickets, George says Phillies in 5. That's
boy.
You might want to sell them and go to Game 5 then. Well, that's
right.
In Arizona.
Yeah. Al Pick, a little let's go. Absolutely. Let's see if there's anyone else. Pat, will the Phillies have home field advantage in the World Series? Astros, yes. Texas, no, is what it comes down to. So I think we want it to
Be a rematch.
Yeah, so David answered that, and Phillies in 5. So, all right,
Pick.
we're at like over an hour here. I'm going to give a chance for final thoughts. Any words of wisdom that you want to have for us? So, Mike, you're next.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Yeah, I say I'm still saying Phillies in 6. You might convince me in 5. I think we match up really well against Houston. I'm a little bit I'm not scared, but I'm a little bit less confident against Texas. I think they take care of business in the D-back series by just not taking it for granted and doing what they've been doing the whole postseason. Looking forward to Wheeler in game 1. Looking forward to seeing what Nola we get in game 2, and looking forward to hanging out with you guys doing it.
Cool.
Dugan?
Yeah, I'm staying Phil's in 5. I really think too the guy I'm looking to have a real big series for the Phillies with all these right-handed pitchers that we're going to see is I'm thinking Brandon Marsh. He looks good at the plate, really driving the ball. I think he has a big series for the Phillies, and he's one of the guys that do. I think Harper continues to rake. I think Schwarber breaks out a little bit, but I really like to see Marsh have a big series here. What do you got, John?
My guy for next series, I think Stotty snaps out of it. Stotty comes up big in this series, gets some clutch hits, some nice plays. I still say Phillies in 6. I just have a feeling we're going to lose a game. We're going to lose one game that we just killed ourselves in. I think we're going to lose a game just because it's Philly style to just lose a dumb game out there. So that's why I say we're going to lose 2. We come back here, and wrap it up in game 6, bedlam, all that good shit. Yeah, I'm not afraid. Like Eminem said, let's go Phils.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's good stuff. So I'm going to stick with Stott again because I think they're so right-handed heavy. I think Stott's going to have an important part here. And, fuck a Diamondback, fuck a Snake, fuck a Bobcat, fuck Arcia, fuck Acuna, fuck the Braves,
fuck a cactus,
fuck yeah, whatever else,
fuck the desert.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck Jake the Snake. You know what? We appreciate you tuning in with us on this Friday night. It's Saturday night, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's
Saturday.
Friday or Saturday night. I went to game 3. Right, Chris? Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
game 3.
Yeah. Yes, I was there, and we had ice cream.
We did have ice cream.
did.
That was
from
great.
I don't know where in the parking lot.
So I want to have ice cream 4 more times in the next 5
that would be
games.
nice.
So thanks everyone for tuning in. You guys, you're awesome. The comments were overwhelming. So we'll put this on Spotify soon. Philly sports shirts. Get dressed up because it's coming. Like one more series, and we're gonna have a different talk. So all right. Good night, everyone.